Alright then gang, so now we have the sign up and login functionality baked into the backend API so that now when we send requests to either sign up or login, it's either a success and we get a token back or it fails and we get an error back. So next up, we need to start making those requests from the React application, and we'll do that soon. But before we do, we need a way to keep track of user state within the React app. So that, for example, when a user is logged in, we have some global user state that stores their email. And when a user is logged out, that global state becomes null. And since we want this state to be global so that every component can use it, we're going to manage this state using React context. Now, this lesson ain't going to be a deep dive into React context because I already showed you how React context works in the beginner MERN tutorial when we made a global context for the workout data. Also, I've got a whole series about React context that you can watch if you want to dive deeper and understand it more. So the link to both of those courses are going to be down below the video so you can check them out. And then in this video, we can just kind of power on and make the context so we can use it to store some global user state. Alright then, so the first thing we need to do is create a new file inside the context folder, and that's going to be called Auth context. So auth context.js. And then inside here, we need to import a couple of things from React. So let's import, and we want the create context function to create the context, and also the use reducer function that we're going to use to manage the context. So let's say that's from React. And then down here, we can create the context by saying export, because we need to use this in other files later, const auth context, and we set that equal to create context. All right, so we created our context. The next thing we need to do is create some kind of custom component that's going to wrap our entire application and provide a value from this context. So let's do that, and we export it as well. So export const, and it's going to be the auth context provider. Name this what you want. I just call it this. Made such a bad mistake there. Context provider, like so. All right, set that equal to a function, and we take in the children. I will explain why later on. So basically the children represents whatever this wraps, whatever component eventually this wraps. So inside here, we need to register the state, and we're going to use the use reducer hook to do this. So const states, and we get a dispatch function back from this as well, and we set that equal to use reducer, like so, and we're going to use a reducer that is called auth reducer. Now we'll make that function later on. For now, don't worry too much. And then the second argument is the initial state, which is an object with a user property, and that's going to be null to begin with, because to begin with, whenever a user first loads the website, they're generally not logged in. Alright, so now let's create this auth reducer function. So up here, I'm going to say export const and auth reducer. Again, we're exporting it so that we can potentially use it in other files later on. And we set that equal to a function where we take in the previous state and the action. And then inside this function, we want to handle different cases. Now, the only two cases we're really going to have are login cases and logout cases. So when a user signs up, we automatically log them in. So we'll be using that case then as well. And when they log in, we'll be using that case. And also when they log out, we'll be using the logout case. So those two cases. So the first one, we need to use a switch statement first of all to take a look at the action type. So this thing right here, we have a type property which describes the action. And we're going to look at that. So the first case scenario is for a login type. So if that's the case, we want to return a new piece of state, which is an object with a user property, much like down here, but this time the user is going to be whatever the payload is on the action. So that's going to be the user we ultimately get back from the server. So action.payload. And again, if this is going over your head and you want to learn more about reducers, context, etc., check out my previous MERN tutorial series. The link to that, remember, is down below this video. All right, so that's the first case. The second case, which is going to be a logout case, we need to also return the state, which is going to be an object with a user property again. This time we're just going to reset it back to null. If they log out, it goes back to null. Makes sense. And then the default case, in case nothing matches, we return null. Or rather, we return the state, not null. the original state, okay, if there's no changes basically. Alright, so now inside this function, what I'm also going to do is console.log a little message to say auth context state and then a colon, and then the second argument is going to be the state object, this thing right here. So basically every time that changes, this is going to be logged to the console, so we can see that change in the console. So if I log in, then I'll see that new state in the console. If I log out, I'll see it again, just so we can kind of keep track of it as developers. Alright, so next we need to return a template inside this component, and that template is going to be our auth context. So the auth context, remember, that's this thing we create right here. This is essentially a component we create, and it has on it a provider like so. So this is the thing that needs to wrap our entire application, and therefore we can output the children inside this. So let's say children like so. So remember, if this wraps our app component right here, the children is the app component, so therefore we're returning the provider component, and it's wrapping our root app component, therefore providing our value, our state value, to the entire application, because the root app component surrounds every other component. Now at the minute we're not providing any value, we need to actually specify that right here. So let's say value is equal to, and it's something dynamic, so curly braces, and it's going to be an object, so another set of curly braces. And what we're going to do is basically use the spread syntax on the state. So I can say ... state. Now at the minute that might seem a bit daft because we just have one property, and I could have just said the user is state.user, but if we add more properties to this in the future, then we get all of them here. So we have the state and also dispatch, or rather we have the user property right here and also the dispatch function, because we need to call this from other places later as well. Alright, so that is pretty much the auth context done. We need to wrap our entire application. So let's go over to the index file to do that. And I'm going to copy this line right here because we already import the workouts context, and I'm going to change this to auth context provider, which is the name of this thing right here that we export, auth context provider, and that's coming from the context folder, but this time from auth context. Alright, so we import this custom function right here that is going to wrap our entire application, and it's going to wrap even this context provider right here. So we'll say auth context provider like so, and we want to grab that closing tag and paste it down here, scoot this in. So now this is surrounding the entire application like so. The next thing I want to do is create a custom hook, much like we did for the workouts context. If I open this up, we have this use workouts context hook right here, and all it does is consume the context using this use context hook built into React, and it returns it down here, and in between it just checks that we're actually within the scope for that context, so we're not trying to use it outside of the root app component, and if we do, it throws an error. So we're going to do something very similar now for the auth context. We're going to create a custom hook called use auth context to provide, or rather return, that auth context, and then if we want to use that context value in any other component in future, we just use that hook. So what I'm actually going to do is just copy all of this code right here, because the other hook is going to be almost identical, and we're going to create a new file inside hooks called use auth context.js. Alright, and inside here I'm just going to paste in this code. Alright, I've made an error over here, should be JS. Okay, so we still need to import these two things, or rather we need the auth context up here, not the workout one. So let's do that. So we import the auth context. We also import this hook use context from React, and right here we want to change this to auth context, and then over here we want use auth context must be used inside an auth context provider. That's the error we throw if we try to use the context outside of the scope of it. And also we need to change the name of the hook itself to auth, or rather use auth context, and then we return it. So that's pretty much it. So now, like I said, if we want to use our auth context value, the user value on the state, in any component, we just invoke this hook and we destructure the user from the context object. And also remember, on this is the dispatch function, so we can use this in other components as well to perform dispatches and update the state. So That's pretty much it for this lesson. We have this context in place, and in the next lesson we're going to start to create our sign up and login forms, where ultimately we're going to be using this to update the state after a user logs in or signs up.